Resident Evil Requiem.
Remember back whenever it used to do that? Like whenever you were a kid and you got your first Resident Evil game and it was like, Resident Evil 2. I used to think it was so cool whenever it did that at the beginning of the game. They should bring that guy back, just for old time's sake. I would love to trash this game and give it a negative review just because Capcom was too good for Hardwired and didn't give me an early review code, forcing me to bum rush this game and try and formulate a review while the product is still somewhat relevant to consumers looking to buy it. But I'm a consummate professional and I won't let my personal disdain for the evil corporation that is Capcom poison my report. So let's dig into this thing. Resident Evil Requiem was developed and published by gaming tyrant Capcom. It was released on February 27, 2026. It is the 9th entry in the mainline game series of Resident Evil. The Resident Evil series is the only horror game that I had played prior to reviewing horror games for this channel. Again, I mostly play MMORPGs and very rarely buy video games, but Resident Evil is one series I have kept up with, at least when it comes to the mainline games. Resident Evil Requiem begins with Grace Ashcroft, who is the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft from the Outbreak offshoot games, being tasked with investigating the mysterious illness that seems to be killing off survivors of the Raccoon City outbreak. On the flip side of things, Leon S. Kennedy is also on the trail of the illness as well. They take different paths to try and achieve the same goal. Therein lies the beauty of this game. Grace is a newbie FBI agent and is green enough to be our terrified Ethan Winters stand-in to give us that revived survival horror feel from Resident Evil 7 and 8. Her hands are shaky, her aim is slightly off, her ammo is severely limited. By default, you play her in first person just like Ethan, though you can change that option if you really want to. When you play as Leon, you get back into that Resident Evil 4 through 6 over-the-shoulder camera angle, but with the more modern gameplay like in the remakes of Resident Evil 2 and 3. He's still an action hero though. The RE engine that was developed for Resident Evil 7 shines yet again in another Capcom title. The game is gorgeous. Everything that you could want visually from a modern game is more than delivered. The character design is impeccable. Leon, Grace, and all the other living humans are rendered beautifully. The zombies are varied by location and look disgusting. The zombies in the Raccoon City portion of the narrative look so dusty and dried up. The monsters are also insanely detailed. Even this monster that reminds me of the Shitweasel from the Dreamcatcher movie based on the Stephen King novel of the same name. The scope of the environments is impressive. There is a verticality to the world design, like rappelling down a broken skyscraper to end up in a sewer. Then you could be sliding through a tunnel in the sewers on a torrent of blood. The way the different layers of the world blend together is absolutely bonkers. The more realistic looking lighting and atmospheric effects better sell Raccoon City. They put some awesome work and engineering into this game. The gameplay is smooth, and it delivers big action in the Leon sections, and big scares and desperation in the Grace sections. Leon is up to his usual badassery, roundhouse kicking zombies and parrying attacks from tyrants. He has a lot of ammunition and a lot of big guns. You spend your playtime with Leon ripping and tearing through hordes of flesh-hungry fiends and looking cool doing it. He's confident in his abilities and isn't afraid of anything he encounters, which isn't surprising after everything he's seen in the series. On the other side of things, Grace is terrified of everything she encounters, and she stammers her way through conversations like she's Morty Smith.
I'm Grace, Ashcroft, FBI. Are you alright? It's okay. We're not infected.
Her arsenal of tools is limited to small firearms and a very limited amount of ammo, so you have to try and be conservative with your supplies and be strategic about when to enter combat with enemies. Capcom did an excellent job of walking this balanced line for gameplay between our two heroes. The best strategy most often with Grace is just to run past enemies and try to make it to safe rooms. Any enemies that Grace doesn't kill will be there for Leon to kill later. In addition, any items that Grace picks up will not be there for Leon later, such as items that restore health, so do keep that in mind on your playthrough. The acting in this game is top-notch, which is a far cry from that infamous acting in the first Resident Evil game. Ever since Resident Evil 7, the acting has been pretty damn good.
I'm Grace. What's your name?
Emily?
Emily. You like reading? Yeah. Do you think you could read something for me? Please, I really need your help. Okay. Thank you.
Grace is such a tortured, tragic character who is completely innocent to everything that's happening around her, so they needed to bring in an actress who could make us empathize with her. Angela Santalbano does a fantastic job of portraying the fear and confusion in her performance. Nick Apostolides also brings the gruff and world-weary energy to Leon in this outing.
You know, I do have a question. When's the last time you brushed your teeth? They just don't give up. Take her out.
Get her safe. Go. Now.
I'll keep our friends busy.
The sound design in the game is phenomenal. I played many portions of the game with my headphones on and it was intense, especially when playing as Grace. That feeling of near helplessness while hearing monsters groaning and clattering about in all different directions around you will leave you feeling anxious. Then there's the crash when an enemy bursts through a nearby door, or wall, or window, or ceiling, and you know there's nothing you can do. Talk about heart-stopping terror. I love that the zombies have unique behaviors based on what their professions were in their lives, especially in the care center portion of the game. Like if you kill certain zombies and leave other zombies alive, the surviving zombies will change their behavior accordingly the next time you roam through the area. It's kind of hard to explain without spoiling things, but it is low-key genius on the developer's part. There was talk before the game came out that this would be a swan song for all the Resident Evil stories that came before it, and that it would lead into a bold new chapter for the series. But honestly, it didn't feel like it wrapped up anything from all the previous narratives. That said, I am unsure where the series goes from here. There is still a deep roster of main characters for the series to use in the sequels going forward. Resident Evil Requiem is another top-tier entry into the franchise. It's the terrifying nightmare that you've come to expect from the more modern Resident Evil games, while simultaneously providing the action-packed thrill ride that the middle entries of the franchise delivered. Grace and Leon work beautifully together as the protagonists of this game, with their contrasting experience levels providing two different playstyles all wrapped up in one game. I give Resident Evil Requiem a 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece. Get yourself a copy of this game. For Hardwired, I've been Levi Barner.